be part of something. The Empire cannot win. It's a different kind of mission. If it goes up in flames, it will burn very brightly.
But if I'm giving up everything, I want to win. We have to. We must stand together. We will be crushed.
Resistance is absurd.
It's a weapon.
They're building a weapon.
The monster will come for us all!
Revolution is not for the saying. You're right here, and you're ready to fight!
There's a future here for those who dare.
Welcome to the rebellion.
Ooh, hello there. Kyle Katarn here. Welcome back to another Hype Chamber for Andor Season 2. Tonight, we're getting episodes 4 through 6. All right, it's going to be a little movie. Hello there, hello there. Yes, gonk, gonk, I say to myself here. Bomber Brian, Nathan, Amni, Digi, Jason. I'm so glad you guys are here. I am wearing my swagman poncho here because I feel like that's very appropriate. These are the tools we need to fight the Empire, all right? And this delicious K16 Briar pistol, which, very nice. Very nice. I don't want to think about that, man. I don't want to think, but you're right. We're almost halfway through. After tonight, we'll be at the halfway mark, and that's crazy because it's only been 2 weeks, right? That's the thing. This is going to be one of those blink and you miss it kind of releases because 4 weeks from now, the season will be over. And the more I think about it, the more I do appreciate the decision that they made because we just get to absorb so much Star Wars, and that's such a treat every week. I think the rationale behind it was they're trying to get it ahead of awards season because from what we've already seen, this is going to be Emmy worthy. At least I'm hoping so. Fingers crossed, right? Thank you. 'Twas a gift from Swagman. No, I get it though. Here, I'll take the hood off so I'm a little bit less shocking to everybody. Oh man. It's actually pouring with rain right now here in Seattle, and I just went for a walk in my poncho, and I didn't feel silly at all. It was actually quite nice. I felt nice and dry. So, we've got a little bit of time here to wait. We've got just over half an hour, or just under half an hour, I should say, 27 minutes. I wanted to show you guys a couple of things that I got in this crate for Swagman because, oh my goodness, it's pretty cool. So right out of the gate, obviously, I'm wearing the poncho. This poncho came right from Narkina 5. It's the cold weather gear that they wear over there when the storms kick up. First thing I want to show off is this package. It's empty right now. I already took everything out of it. But look at this wax seal right here with the Andor symbol on it. Isn't that the coolest thing? When I opened this up, it contained these 3 wanted posters, right? We got Andor right here. Wanted for crimes against the Empire, right? Cassian Andor. K2SO. Love this one, actually. And then Bix Colleen, who was swiftly becoming a favorite, honestly. Like that scene that she had in that 3rd episode. Very powerful stuff, despite the fact that Vader would never stand for it. When I first opened it, I just thought, okay, cool. These are some sweet wanted posters, and that's all there is to it. But wrong. There's more to this. Let's see here. They also gave me a little code cylinder right here. Look at this thing. Also has a little Andor logo on it there. It's a blacklight. And look what happens when we mouse over this. It says wanted along the top, right? In Aurebesh. And then underneath in blacklight, rebel. Never back down. I don't know how well that's coming up on the camera here. And then a little Rebellion logo over the Imperial cog. Same thing with the other ones too. K2SO just has a rebel across the middle here, and then along the top, Little cog again. And then Cassian here. Fight the Empire. Let's see. I wonder if turning off these lights will make it easier to view it. Let me just turn off my front-facing lights for a second. Let's see what this has. I know you can't really see it. There you go. There you go. You can see that a little better. Fight the Empire. And then on the top, Rebel. Very cool. I was really impressed with these. And then I also got a little sticker pack with some Imperial test pilot, what have you here. And K2SO, who I'm really hoping is going to show up soon. I hope we don't have to wait for the final arc to get him. But if he does take that long, I mean, I guess I understand. It does make sense. Once he's got K2SO with him, he's like fully in it. And I don't know how many scenarios he can really disguise him in to take him with him. So I think that he meets K2 a little closer to Rogue One. Would be my guess. Blaster bolts fired indeed. Pew, pew. I really hope Bix survives. She is someone who could survive and conceivably not be involved in Rogue One. Like, I guess that makes sense if she's out there like living in hiding or furthering the goals of the Rebel Alliance in some other front, because the war is going on across the entire galaxy. It's not just Yavin. Luthen, however, there is no way Luthen is going to survive because he's instrumental. He's so instrumental to the rebellion. He's a crucial player that I really don't know how they would ever be able to justify him not being present at the Battle of Yavin in that command center. I mean, Mon Mothma is not there because she's been spirited away to another location just in case the Death Star does blow up Yavin 4. But I don't think he's there with her. I think he's not going to make it. The question isn't really will he survive. The question is like how many people is he going to take with him? You know, because he's going to go down with a bang, and hopefully he takes like some Imperial movers and shakers down too. General Draven would be cool. General Draven, Jan Dodonna, all the people from that command center in Yavin 4. I want to see them by the end of this. And then also like Senator Pomlo and all the people from that Rogue One meeting. Where they're like, what is she proposing? Like all of that stuff. We're getting closer and closer to it, I think. Oh, interesting. Luthen being killed by Saw Gerrera. You know, I hadn't really thought about that, but I think that if they went that route, that would kind of explain the rift that forms between Saw Gerrera and Mon Mothma, because they're basically like allied with a common purpose, but super not on good terms by the time of Rebels season 4, which is about 1 to 2 ABY or BBY, excuse me. Saw Gerrera coming out and like, you know, calling everyone out with that hologram, talking trash to Mon Mothma at her own base with this giant hollow projection out of an astromech droid. Ezra saw the whole thing, you know, joined up with Saw, and then, you know, kind of found out the hard way that maybe Saw's a little bit too hardcore for him too. It would also explain why Saw is so paranoid in Rogue One, because he thinks that not only is the Empire after him, but now the Rebels are after him too because he kills Luthen. I kind of like that theory, actually. Yeah, that's a new theory for me. I hadn't even thought of it, but to be fair, most people are trying to kill Saw. Saw is not out here making friends. He's making so many enemies. He doesn't care. Ends justify the means. It's all about taking down the Empire with him. I know, right? I hope I'm not manifesting this into existence, because I don't want to see it happen, but like it would make sense. It would make sense narratively for that to go down. Someone keeping an eye on the Capitol absolutely makes sense. Luthen being that person feels like such a waste of his skill set and his talents. He needs to be up there, like in the room where it's being planned. You know, he needs to be in the room where they're making the major decisions for the rebellion. That's the level that he needs to operate on, in my opinion. Dedra could very well be the scapegoat for the Ghorman Massacre. I think that she's been put in charge of it, right? And maybe Krennic is like doing a double deal there, where like that way, if the whole thing falls apart, he can hang her out to dry and he won't have to worry about it. We do see that shot of her like grabbing at her neck, and I think she's having a panic attack. Some people speculated that it was Vader. I don't like. It's been as much as confirmed Vader's not showing up. Tony Gilroy doesn't want Vader in the show. I did hear that. I did hear about that on like Watch Along Island or whatever the hell it's called. I don't understand Fortnite. I've never played it before. I don't know how it works. I do know that the Palpatine revenge speech from Rise of Skywalker was like exclusively shown in Fortnite, and that still like mystifies me. I have no idea why they did that. It's such a weird decision. The room where it happens, exactly. To all the Hamilton fans out there, that's exactly what I was trying to say, but I danced around it. I know that that will be the second premiere for Underworld because people at Star Wars Celebration Japan got to see the first episode. So they'll be getting that second one in Fortnite, and then 2 days later, I'll be watching it during the Disney Plus release because I don't have Fortnite. Big if true. Big if true. We do not know all the details. It is heavily referenced in Legends and also now in canon in a couple different novels. But no one really goes into the details of like the setup, like the timeline leading up to the Ghorman Massacre. I think that is still being established for the first time in canon. For example, everything about the Ghorman spiders and the spider silk, that was new information. The calcite being the mineral that they actually want to coat the reactor lenses with, I'm pretty sure was brand new information in Andor. So I imagine we're going to come away from this show with a really good understanding of exactly what went down. I think I will make a video about it. Actually, I'm just waiting for a little bit more information to be exposed, and then yeah, and then I'll make a nice little presentation about it for anyone that wants the Spark Notes. The Rebels episode is one of the first canon mentions that we get. Like the first on-screen mention for sure. Talking about Mon Mothma condemning the Ghorman Massacre, and that's kind of is the impetus for her to flee the Empire. But it's also mentioned in Mask of Fear, and also in the Beaumont Kin Rise and Fall of the Galactic Empire. They both touch on it briefly, but they don't go into specifics. They just say after the Ghorman Massacre, blah 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 blah. After what happened on Ghorman, but they don't really say what happened on Ghorman. In Legends, Tarkin parks his personal starship on protesters. He just squishes them like bugs. And that is the Ghorman Massacre in Legends. And there are a couple of things expanding on that. In canon, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think they're going to do something a little bit more insidious and a little bit more like shocking to our core here in the real world. It's not that relatable. Someone parking a Star Destroyer on your ass, like we can't really put ourselves in those shoes. But if anything, Andor seems to be really trying to draw strong connections to our own socio-political landscape and to the Empire and to the galaxy. And so I think it'll be something a little bit more relatable than that. I mean, Jason, I don't even know Fortnite like that. So I have not formed an opinion of sorts. But I probably will. I probably will at some point. They've got so much Star Wars content in that game now. I think I would be doing myself a disservice if I don't at least check it out. You know, I'm sure it'll make me feel proper old, but I'll get in there. I'll see what's going on. Yeah, strong feelings. People are not fans of Fortnite in here in the chat. Well, you know, that's fine. That's fine. You don't have to love everything. I don't know how I feel about it because I've never played it. You think we're getting Ghorman tonight? I would guess that we are getting Bix and Andor blowing up a building from the trailer. I think we might be getting Ghorman. I think we're definitely going to be getting the setup to it. I think we might get Dedra arriving on Ghorman for the first time. Well, no, because we get complete arcs. So if we're getting any of it, we're getting all of it, right? It's a safe bet. It's a pretty safe bet. We also still, well, because the Ghorman Massacre can be this arc, and it's going to be pretty immediately followed by Mon Mothma's rapid exfiltration from Coruscant. They have to be the same arc, right? Because we've got a year time jump. There's no way the Ghorman Massacre goes down and like a whole year later, Mon Mothma condemns it and has to flee. It's got to be later in the same 3 episodes. Very looking forward to Cassian in his like fancy pants Coruscant garb disguise. It looks pretty great. I think you're right. I think we need one more arc of setup before we actually get the full business. That's canon. That's canon. We are getting pain. That's the one thing we can count on. We'll be getting Mon's speech in the same arc that we get the Ghorman Massacre proper. Whether that's tonight, whether that's next week, that I couldn't tell you. But we'll definitely be getting those as like a bonded pair because one begets the other. And it doesn't make sense that Mon Mothma would wait long enough for a time jump before condemning it. She's going to condemn that immediately. Oh, trust me, we are never seeing Take Holma again. He is done. The way this show works, the way Gilroy likes to write his action, we saw him getting in that cab with Cinta, and that was the writing on the wall. And we probably won't even see what happened. It's just going to be a line of exposition about like, oh, did you hear? His speeder crashed on the way home, and that's it. And Mon Mothma will be all fake shocked, and Luthen will be like, I wonder who did that. Yeah, he is swimming with the fishes, and R.I.P. to him. Honestly, I thought that he was solid in season 1. I thought that he had our back, and that he was like a ride or die ally of Mon Mothma. They grew up together. It just goes to show you, man, a divorce can change a person. Losing some money can change a person, and it's wild. Someone on Twitter pointed out that like male Chandrilan fashion just looks like white boys in Japan, and I haven't been able to see it the same way since. It's just a bunch of dudes in kimonos, and it's so funny to me. Having just been in Japan, like, I get it, man. Yes, no, Andor season 2 is not going to end with writing saying, Take Holma will return. He's not the new Vane. Cinta is 100% an angel of death, and I love the way they established that. I love that we just got to know her through her actions so much in season 2 that she didn't have to say a word. Just her very presence alone told us everything we needed to know about what was about to go down. And that was very masterfully done. Totally. Some tricky camera work. We're not actually going to see it. You know what I mean? I don't think it's weird at all, man. I think it's extremely compelling. More compelling than I thought it was going to be. And the more I think about it, it's like the weird little sitcom side plot we've got going with Dedra and Cyril. It serves a good purpose. It's more than just comic relief, which is how we've been taking it. But I think it really kind of underscores the way that people who like buy into fascism and become part of the machine, like how easy their lives are, how much comfort they really have. Like the juxtaposition of like Andor, Brasso, Bix, and Will just going through absolute hell, just trying to survive, versus Cyril's biggest problem is that Dedra put the fork on the plate askew, that his mom might say something rude. Like, these are not the same level of problems, man. It's like, look how much easier life is if you just like buy into the fascism. And that is to show us, why so many normal people were okay with the Empire. It's because it was easy. It made life comfortable for them. If you're not a rebel, you're doing okay. And that's like the insidious nature of fascism, is that like to certain groups of people, to certain classes of people, it can be attractive because, the negative sides aren't affecting them. It's like, oh, that's someone else's problem. That's the rebels' problem. That's the Ghorman's problem. We don't have to worry about that. We're like proud Coruscanti galactic citizens over here. It's the more you think about it, like the more dark those sequences really become. And I think Cyril is definitely in for a rude awakening. Nathan Holtzclaw, I'm not going to highlight your comment, but I do agree. I do agree. Oh, man. Rogue One director's cut would be fantastic. I love that we got the Revenge of the Sith re-release in theaters for the anniversary. This year's the 10-year anniversary of Rogue One. How sweet would it be if we got Rogue One re-released in theaters when season 2 ends, so we can all go and watch the conclusion on the big screen again together? I honestly would be so excited to do that. I would love to do that. Dedra is an example of such good writing because like she's awful, but you root for her. They still find a way to make her endearing to you just enough that you can root for her. And for me, it's the same thing with Edie Karn. Like, she is hilarious. She commands the screen. Like, that actress is fantastic. Catherine Hunter, I believe her name is fantastic. Like, what a horrible human being. But you love it. You love to watch her. Excuse me, you're totally right. Next year will be the 10-year anniversary of Rogue One. This year is The Force Awakens. Thank you for that correction. You're right. That was 2016. So 2026 would be the 10-year. But still, a year after the conclusion of Andor, wouldn't that be great if we could go back to the theater and watch Rogue One again? Give us those 40X chairs. The Battle of Scarif, you're like shaking around. How crazy would that be? I'd be all about it. Thanks for saying that, man. That means a lot to me. Got a lot more videos coming right now. I just finished cutting together my Star Wars Celebration vlogs. Andor reactions, obviously. And then over on Grizzled Wizard, I just reacted to Predator 2. I'm on my way through the Predators and the Aliens, working my way to AVP. We're getting it done. And then on a recommendation from my friend Todd Cherniowski, I'm going to be going down all the David Cronenberg movies. So strap in. It's about to get weird on that channel. That's a really good question. Comic runs with Andor vibes. I feel like everything that Marvel Comics has put out so far has felt a lot closer to like Clone Wars and like Rebels energy. I don't think we've had anything quite on the level of like Andor's style of exposition. Although the Rogue One novelization, the graphic novel adaptation was pretty damn good. And I would love to see a adaptation of Catalyst by James Luceno. That's a really good companion novel. That's the prequel novel for Rogue One. And is also directly informing Andor, really. I think that would be really cool to see that play out in a comic medium, too. Yes. Yes. You heard it here first. Boar gullet, popcorn buckets. I'm so down. I'm so down. What's the old saying? Like, hunger is the best sauce, right? Like, the longer we anticipate it, the more we're going to savor it and the more we're going to enjoy it. And honestly, even if they dropped it right after season 1, I'd still be appreciating the hell out of these episodes because they're fantastically written. Speaking of writing and directing, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Someone in the chat help me out here. But the director of the Narkina 5 arc, One Way Out, is also directing tonight's 3 episodes. So like that guy said earlier, pain. Lots of pain. Oh my God. Yes. Yes, please. Yes, please. A Lego set for the TIE Avenger would be fantastic. When I was at Celebration, I was over at the Micro Galaxy Squadron booth, which is like my new favorite thing, by the way. Like I've got the ships. Well, not so many ships these days, but I have ships that live on the shelf usually. I'm very tempted to start picking up the Micro Galaxy Squadron because I love the cohesion from ship to ship. The scale is so close. And the fact that they all come with little minis. What's not to love? Like they unveiled some new ones. Like now they're doing all of the vehicles from Star Wars Visions, which is awesome. The Gungan Bongo submarine is finally out there. A lot of things to be excited about with the Micro Galaxy Squadron. Hell, they've even got a version of the Ghost where you can attach Y-wings to the sides and to the bottom, just like in the episode of Rebels that everyone's constantly referencing, Secret Cargo, because it's the one where Mon Mothma shows up. That's the one post Ghorman Massacre. Toby Haynes, thank you. The next 3 episodes are directed by Toby Haynes, who directed the Narkina 5 arc, which, in my humble opinion, is the best arc of season 1. I liked it better than Rick's Road. I think One Way Out is the strongest episode in the whole show. And I believe One Way Out is the one that has both of those back-to-back monologues that are fantastic. Yeah, no, I can't wait. Yeah, no, it is. It's because Kino Loy has one of them, and then Luthen has the other one. It's like Luthen's only scene in the episode, too. He just comes in, delivers a banger monologue, and then sends Lonnie right back up the elevator. God, what a boss. Nothing wrong with 3D printing, man. I think it's a wonderful time to be alive. Thinking back to, before 3D printers were a thing, like, Lego sets and pretty expensive models are kind of your only recourse. And like, what a game changer, dude. And not just for models, but like, think about cosplay. Like the things that we can make now. The Mandalorian Stormbringer helmet on my shelf, that's 3D printed. Looks fantastic. Like the level of sophistication that we have at home now. These things used to be gate kept by companies that had the industrial equipment to manufacture things. Like not anymore. Not anymore. We can make it ourselves. Like, and how awesome is that? Like really. Oh, that was a Bendu text. He's probably getting ready. Do I have any advice for maintaining optimism despite all the discourse online? I would say first and foremost, form your own opinion and don't sort of take cues from those around you telling you what to think. If you enjoy it, or you don't enjoy it, like let that be your guiding star. Don't necessarily wait until you see what others are saying before you want to weigh in. I don't know. For me, it's like a self-confidence thing. Like I stopped having guilty pleasures when I realized that I am awesome. And therefore, by extension, so are my interests, and I don't need to be bashful about the things that I like or the things that I don't like. And I think that that's definitely part of it. Yes, Digi's bringing up a great point here. Don't doom scroll either. if you find someone out there who like rubs you the wrong way, you're like, oh, I hate this opinion. That's terrible. Don't go to their profile and start scrolling through and reading all their tweets because it's just going to depress you. It's just going to make you mad. Like, don't even do it. Like, you are the arbiter of your own opinion. And if you enjoy it, hell yeah. If you don't enjoy it, maybe stop wasting your own time and find something you do like. But in terms of optimism, like I can't really tell you how I do it because I don't know how I do it. I just am optimistic about Star Wars. Like it just really strikes like a really, really deep chord with me when I watch something from Star Wars and it transports me back into like my 8-year-old self. And I'm just a kid again watching Star Wars. And I guess my advice would be like, hold on to that feeling as long as you can. I'm 35 and I still turn into like an 8-year-old every time Star Wars drops. And it's kind of a beautiful thing. That's definitely part of it. I argue a lot less on social media than I used to. And an important part of that change for me was realizing that it's not my responsibility to change anyone else's mind. And also, if someone hates a show that I love, there's no reason for me to take that personally. And it's hard not to it's hard not to have a sense of ownership over these things. Because if you're like me and you grew up with Star Wars, you grew up playing with the toys. When someone else is out there making a Star Wars that's not George Lucas, it's basically like someone coming over to your house and taking your Star Wars action figures and playing with them in front of you. And you have to resist the urge to be like, no, Boba Fett doesn't do that. He plays like this. And like, that's how you do it. You know, how someone else does it, totally valid. That's their interpretation. And that's not taking away from your enjoyment, or at least it shouldn't, you know? I saw that too. I've seen that before. Something tells me we'll see that again. That's all I'll say about that. You know, I disagree. I don't think it's ever time to stop playing SWTOR. Just keep playing SWTOR. I love that game. It's like the ultimate flex for an MMO. That game is from 2011. All right. By MMO standards, that game is goddamn geriatric and it's still going. It's still getting updates. It still has a live and growing player base, of which I am part of. And no, I love SWTOR. Yeah, that's a big part of it too. Don't debate people in bad faith. There's an adage about that too. Like, never try to convince someone whose paycheck depends on him not understanding it. You know, people have already made up their mind. They're just trying to score points or gain clout, and that's not worth anybody's time, honestly. That's Ryan. I completely agree, and I feel like because I'm younger than you, but I feel like that's a generational thing. It's like a rite of passage because for me, the lean years were post prequels. You know, there were no whispers of a sequel trilogy. That wasn't even a thing. Dark Horse Comics was slowly wrapping it up, and the best that we had to hope for was like a goddamn Xbox dancing Han Solo game from Kinect. Like, you want to talk about the dark times? Oh man. Yeah, no, I don't judge people who don't like Andor because it's a very specific flavor of Star Wars, and it's not what we grew up with. It just straight isn't, you know. It's not all pew pew and laser swords, which is, you know, what brought us all to the table originally. But we've all grown up since then, and there's other ways to appreciate it, and there's other ways to examine and explore this galaxy beyond just Space Wizard this and laser sword that. So yeah, you got me rambling. You got me rambling about Twitter discourse. And now we got 2 minutes left for the episode. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, everybody. I really love these hype chambers, and I'm glad so many people came out to hang out with me. It's Disney Plus time. Go get on Andor. Let's do this. I will see you guys along the road. Hell yeah. Let's hit that trailer one more time.
I came with you to be part of something. The Empire cannot win. It's a different kind of mission. If it goes up in flames, it will burn very brightly.
But if I'm giving up everything, I want to win. We have to. We must stand together. We will be crushed.
Resistance is absurd.
It's a weapon.
They're building a weapon.
The monster will come for us all!
Revolution is not for the saying. You're right here, and you're ready to fight!
There's a future here for those who dare.
Welcome to the rebellion.